29 degrees on a hot and muggy night here in Atlanta. This will be the final game of a 4-game series between the Atlanta Braves and John Gibbons' the Toronto Blue Jays. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Blue Jays. Top of the order, Ezekiel Carrera is hitting leadoff. No Kevin Pillar. Blue Jays have suspended him for 2 games. He's out of the lineup. Also, no Devin Travis. He's out of the lineup tonight. It's a healthy scratch, if you will. Jose Bautista in the 2 spot. His last 8 games have been very productive. Jose batting .357 of those 8 games with 4 homers and 10 RBIs. The Blue Jays need a win tonight. They're 17-24 and they've lost 3 straight to Atlanta.
They'll go up against tonight's starter Julio Teheran, 9th start of the season and 139th of his career. He faces the Blue Jays for the 4th time in his career and for the first time since 2015. Last year, he made 30 starts for the Atlanta Braves and became the first Braves pitcher to make 30 starts in 4 consecutive seasons since some guy named Greg Maddux did it 8 straight from 1996 through 2003. He has no career decisions against the Blue Jays, but he has a very high ERA against Toronto at .660.
Ezekiel Carrera will lead things off tonight with no Kevin Pillar available. Teheran looks in for a sign from Tyler Flowers. He's got it, and here's the first pitch of the ball game. It's in there for a strike, and we are underway. Carrera 306 on the season. 3 homers and 12 RBIs. He's had a good month of May. As we mentioned, hitting .295 for the month. Breaking ball upstairs. It's a ball on the strike.
He's had some time in the big leagues as a starter in the top of the lineup there, so this is nothing new for him. He'll take his pitches, try to work the count against Teheran and get on base for the big boys.
Inside. 2-1. Atlanta won 8-4 last night. They won all 3 games. They've outscored the Blue Jays 27-15 in winning the first 3 games. Popped up. Shortstop Dansby Swampson out. It gives way to Matt Kemp, the left fielder. Carrera's retired, 1 away. So Jose Bautista, he hit a home run last night, and the Braves took exception to the bat flip and the way he circled the bases. And you can hear the reception he gets here in Atlanta.
Fans letting them know what they think about what happened late in the ball game.
Coming inside. Pushed him back off the plate, and the crowd response, as you would expect. There have been 8 hitters hit in this series, 7 Braves and 1 Blue Jay. Devin Travis got hit in response to Freddie Freeman being hit last night.
Yeah, you got to figure that they were still thinking about that this afternoon.
Bautista gets hit by a pitch. That makes 9 batters that have been hit in this series. And now the umpire is going to issue a warning to both benches. So the home plate umpire, obviously well aware of the situation between these 2 ball clubs. Paul Emmel makes the warning to both benches. Bautista takes first base. Jace Peterson is at first base, and he's the fellow that had something to say with Bautista last night. When he hit the home run, Peterson was filling in after Freeman had to leave the game. He's at first base, and here's the pitch that hit Bautista.
Right in the leg, and I think everybody was expecting that after last night's ball game. And now, because of that, there's the home plate umpire. I'm going to go out there, Paul Emmel, calm things down.
Kendrys Morales playing at first base tonight. There's a base hit. Breaks up the shift. He shoots it into left field. Bautista goes to second. First and second, 1 out. Defensively, the Braves have committed 25 errors this season. In the outfield, it's Matt Kemp, Ender Inciarte, and Nick Markakis from left to right. Swanson and Phillips up the middle. Ruiz playing at third base, and Jace Peterson making his start at first base, and Tyler Flowers behind the plate for Teheran.
Freddie Freeman had started every game for the Braves at first base. Jace Peterson, who's in your shot right there, finished up the game after Freddie left after the 5th inning, and he will get that first career start at first base. They called up another young player who was playing third base tonight, Ruiz.
Daryl Siciliani is hitting cleanup tonight. Siciliani is the first Blue Jays cleanup hitter to enter the game with 1 or fewer career home runs since John Haddock on October 1st, 2006. This shows you the fact that the Blue Jays have been banged up. 3 of their regulars out of the lineup. Ball on the strike to Siciliani, who's playing in center field tonight. Siciliani hit one to the bullpen fence in center field last night, but was robbed on a nice catch by Inciarte. There's a base hit down in the right field corner. Bautista's going to come in to score. Siciliani headed for second. They'll stop Morales at third, and the Blue Jays have a 1-0 lead. So that hit batter comes in to score. Morales ends up at third, and Siciliani with his first hit in the big leagues this season.
That is how you answer, you know. Blue Jays have been getting hit hard and getting beat 3 straight by Atlanta. Bautista gets hit, and that's your answer right there. You come out there, you start swinging the bats. Morales with a base hit to left field, and Siciliani, he was telling me yesterday, he said, my first 50 at bats in AAA, I was awful. I just couldn't see the ball. I had no chance, but he felt like over his last 10 at bats, started hitting the ball just a little bit harder. Hit that ball hard, rattles around into the corner for extra bases.
Chris Coghlan playing at second base tonight. Devin Travis is not in the lineup. He got hit by a pitch last night, but Travis is healthy. He's fine. Just an opportunity to get Coghlan back in the lineup.
Saw Devin today down in the batting cage, and he said it just nicked me in my knee. It was his left knee. Remember, the one that he had the surgery on was the right knee. He said he's fine.
Strike on the corner.
I think it's a good idea to get as many left-handed batters into this lineup against Tehran. Tehran's big, tall right-handers with a great arm and a hard slider. So the more lefties you can get into your lineup, I think the better you're going to be.
Off the plate inside. Tehran making his 5th start here at home at SunTrust Park, and it's been a rough start for him in this new ballpark. He comes in with an .814 earned run average, and the opponents have hit .310 against him. Those are his numbers for his career. ERA up over 6.5 against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, they have hit him hard. 11 earned runs in 15 innings pitched. But he doesn't have a decision. I remember he came in relief one time, and the Blue Jays knocked him around. You were just talking about him here at home. I wonder if it's in his head right now, pitching into this ballpark. He's got some numbers now over the season, a few starts in this ballpark. An ERA, because the splits are so huge. 8 at home, he's got an ERA under 1 on the road. You wonder if it's just the ballpark in his head right now.
There's another base hit. That's a fair ball. That'll score 2. Morales is in to score. Siciliani right behind him, and Coghlan's going to take a turn and stop at second. A 2-run double for Chris Coghlan. And the Blue Jays have put up a 3 spot here in the first, and there's still just 1 out.
This is what happened in the first inning yesterday, but it happened to the Blue Jays. The Braves came out swinging and scored 6 runs in that first inning. Tonight, shoes on the other foot. That's just a hanging slider that stays over the middle of the plate. That's belt high, and lefties are going to hit that all night long. Coghlan's going to pick up a couple of RBIs, his 4th and 5th of the season. He had thoughts of maybe trying to turn that into a triple, but then thought better and threw up the stop sign.
For Coghlan, RBIs number 4 and 5 on the season. This is Darwin Barney. Blue Jays 3 runs on 3 hits, couple of doubles. Barney 279 for the season. Grounded towards short. Coghlan holds his ground to second. Swanson throws him out. We mentioned the home road splits for Tehran. Julio Tehran has had a rough time here at SunTrust Park in Atlanta. His ERA is high, but Pat, what a difference. You might be right on the money about his head not being comfortable pitching in this ballpark just yet.
This is a hitter's ballpark. The ball really carries to right field, and the pitcher, when you see these types of splits, opponent's batting average of over 300 at home, under 200 on the road. Home runs allowed, all 5 of them here at home, none on the road. You start to think about, well, maybe he's thinking too much and he's trying to be too perfect, making pitches in this ballpark. When you try to be too perfect, that's when you make mistakes.
The starters for the Braves, ERA here at home over 6.5 a game. Ryan Goins continues to play at shortstop. Blue Jays still waiting on Troy Tulowitzki and Josh Donaldson.
There was some talk that they were going to come back this week, but that's been put on hold right now. Tell you what, nobody's really sure when they're going to see him.
Goins drives it to left. Kemp is backing up. He makes the catch, and the Blue Jays. Top half of the first comes to an end, but it was a fruitful one. 3 runs on 3 hits, couple of doubles. Codman with a 2-run double to the corner in right. 3-0 Jays. Lineup, no Freddie Freeman tonight, the big first baseman. Nick Markakis moves up to the 3rd spot. He's got a 6-game hit streak. He's 12 for his last 24 with 8 RBIs, and that includes a great run against the Blue Jays. And Matt Kemp, same for Kemp. His last 17 games, big numbers, 356 with 11 extra base hits, and they'll face Marcus Stroman for the first time tonight.
His 9th start of the season. Marcus is 3-2 with a 333 earned run average. He was so good his last time out. Recorded his 5th career 9+ strikeout game in that last start versus Seattle. He threw 6 innings, had those 9 strikeouts. That's the 6th time in 8 starts that he's thrown at least 6 innings. Unfortunately, he had a no decision in that game. They couldn't score many runs while he was in there. Let's go back to the hit batter in the 1st inning. Bautista's going to hit on the leg, and the home plate umpire, that's the crew chief, Paul Emmel, he is going to issue warnings to both benches. And what that means for Marcus Stroman, that if he feels like if Marcus Stroman comes back and retaliates and hits him on purpose, he will be thrown out of the ball game. John Gibbons will be thrown out of the ball game. Doesn't mean he can't hit somebody. He has to feel like he was throwing at him on purpose.
The umpire can determine the intent, and it's up to him totally. So the Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead for Marcus Stroman. Ender Inciarte takes the first pitch strike. We mentioned it in our open how Marcus Stroman just really needs to focus on pitching a good game, getting the Blue Jays a win, salvaging the final game in this 2-game stint, and moving on to Baltimore.
Yeah, don't get caught up in all the noise of what's going on here over the last couple of days. Concentrate on your game, do your thing. Tell you what, everybody's going to forget about it if the Blue Jays win. That's the most important thing. Stopping this losing streak, pitching a good game, and winning the ball game.
Marcus did not factor in the decision against the Mariners his last time out. Kendrys Morales grabs it in foul ground. Morales making just his 6th start at first base. He was an everyday first baseman for the Angels back in 2009. That was quite a few years ago, but he has made 363 career starts at first coming into this game.
Gibby was saying that he was going to play Smoke one day, Morales the next, and they're going to do the same thing when the team goes to Milwaukee next week.
There's a strikeout on the breaking ball, and Bailey will complete the strikeout, 1 away. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays defensively. They have committed 27 errors this season. Marcus Stroman, a ground ball pitcher, so the infield becomes very significant. Siciliani is in center. He is surrounded by Carrera and Bautista. Goins and Travis up Travis is not in the lineup. That's Coghlan at second base. Barney and Morales at the corners, and Luke Maile is behind the plate.
Daryl Siciliani, only 5 starts in his career in center field. The last time, New York Mets, when he was with the New Yorkers, July the 2nd, 2015. That was against the Cubs.
Brandon Phillips goes after that first pitch, a sinking fastball, and bounces it foul. .279 for the season for Phillips, the veteran, 4-time Gold Glover. Phillips this season against the Blue Jays, 3 for 12 so far. There's a ground ball. Coghlan has it at second. 2 up, 2 down for Stroman.
Well, that's what you need right there for Marcus. Your team scores you 3 runs in the top of the inning. Come out there firing strikes. Make it a quick inning. Get that offense back out there.
Nick Markakis, he is one of the 9 hitters that have been hit by a pitch in this series. He might have been hit the hardest outside of Freeman, of course. Freeman suffered a fracture, but Markakis got hit right in the ribs. And now with Bautista being hit by a pitch, there have been 9 batters hit. 7 Braves. Markakis, the right fielder, batting .317. He's got a homer and 21 RBIs. Nick spent 9 seasons with the Orioles, so the Blue Jays have seen his act for quite a while, and it's a good one.
Boy, just look at the numbers that he has put up against the Blue Jays in his career. .305 average, 12 homers, and there's another hit.
He goes the opposite way and hits it past Barney down the left field line. Markakis has always been able to hit the ball to the other field. Freddie Freeman got the bad news that he had a non-displaced fracture. He's got a cast on his left hand. Got hit by a pitch, and he was very gracious in his comments in regards to the pitch by Loop. He said, hey, he was just trying to do his job. Ball got away from him, hit me in a bad spot. And that's pretty classic.
Yeah, he said he didn't have really a chance to get out of the way, turn away from that ball, hit him in the wrist. He had some wrist problems a couple of years ago and spent some time on the disabled list, and that's unfortunate. You feel bad when you see good guys and good players go down like that.
Having a great start to his season. Matt Kemp, he's gotten off to a good start himself. .339 average, 6 homers, 23 RBIs. He was the author of a 13-game hit streak recently. He beats that sinking fastball into the dirt.
He's got power to all fields, and I think where you pitch Matt Kemp, I think you have to pitch him in. He's got 6 home runs this year. 3 of them have gone to right field. He likes the ball out over home plate where he can take the ball the other way. So I think Marcus has got to use that sinker, and he's got to use it into Matt Kemp.
Looked like a pretty good pitch, and Stroman didn't get the call. Elevated that four-seamer. Kemp's got a 21-game streak of reaching base safely. And over those 21 games, he has 19 RBIs, second longest such streak of his career. There's that ball down the right side like you were talking about, Pat. He can hit the ball from foul line to foul line.
Yes, and I think you have to go inside with him where you can tie him up so he can't extend his arms through. Once you start getting him thinking in here, then Marcus can use his slider away.
How is Marcus hamstrung by the warning being put in place?
I hope he's not, because remember, it's all about intent, or if the umpire thinks that he goes on purpose to try and hit him. But if you're pitching inside, you have to pitch inside. That's part of it.
Going away again. Breaking ball. He got away with one. Left it right out over the plate, and Kemp fouled it straight back.
Hey, anytime you see a pitcher like that rub the ball up and look out into the stands and everything, he knows he got away with a hanging breaking ball.
Thank you very much. I'm glad I got this ball back. Can I get another chance? 2-2, 2 outs. Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead. Markakis takes his lead at first. Kemp strikes out. A couple of strikeouts for Stroman in the first. Good start to his night. Blue Jays have a 3-0 lead after one in Atlanta.
To Atlanta early this morning to personally address the Kevin Pillar controversy. He said as an organization they've been thinking about three key things since last night's ugly incident. The first one, he said, was that they pride themselves in respecting all communities. That is one of the organization's core values. He said they failed to do that since last night. Second, he said they recognize and realize the team has a responsibility and platform to increase inclusiveness. They failed to do that, he said. Finally, this organization will be accountable, do everything they can to make things right, including continuing to work with Billy Beane, MLB's first ambassador for inclusion. Atkins said there is no silver lining when something this unfortunate happens, but Buck, they are pleased that Kevin Pillar has chosen to be accountable.
They certainly are. Hazel and Ross Atkins addressed the media, and we were all involved. We got a chance to hear what he had to say, and then right after that, Kevin Pillar did the same, and he was very remorseful. He was very sincere in his comments about making a mistake, and hopefully we'll be able to help rectify that situation. And I think Blue Jays did the right thing. First of all, got him out of this series. They chose to suspend him. In case you haven't heard, he was suspended by the Blue Jays, and Kevin was accepting of that. He's suspended for 2 days and will not be around the club for the next 2 days.
And that's why they were able to bring Dwight Smith up to the big leagues, because the Blue Jays suspended Kevin. They were also very proactive, and that's what I like. Proactive. And ultimately, it was their decision. Kevin said he was embarrassed and ashamed for his family, so put that behind the team and hopefully move on.
But Tehran, he had to hit Bautista in the first inning. You just wonder if that didn't take him out of his game. Obviously he was under directions, whether it was a player or a coach or manager, nobody knows, but there was a response to Bautista. Swanson threw high to Jace Peterson, but maybe he's tagged down. But it was interesting, after he hit Bautista, then he gives up a base hit to Morales, a double to Siciliani, a double to Coghlan. He finds himself down 3-0.
I likened it a little bit to what we saw last night from Joe Biagini when he made that wild throw at second base. He seemed to be a little bit unnerved, his body language, if you saw him, and he walked the next two batters and then gave up the big 3-run home run, 6 runs altogether. You just wonder if Tehran was under the same type of feeling after the hit batter.
Here is Marcus Stroman. Stroman is the leading batter on the Blue Jays. He's hitting 1,000. His pinch double came in St. Louis, as he had an extra inning pinch double and came in to score the winning run in that game.
Tell you what, he said he's going to go up there swinging. He's going to get his 3 hacks in. He's not going to go up there, he said, and just take pitches and try and work the count and make outs. I said, I'm going to go up there and try and do some damage to help myself.
Fouls that one off. Got another breaking ball. Stroman strikes out. 2 up, 2 down here in the second. Tehran's got a big arm. He's got a good fastball and a lively slider.
And if he starts locating that slider to be tough on the righties, and that's why I think you want to put so many lefties in there. Fastball, he's going to use it almost 60% of the time. There's the slider a quarter of the time. He's going to use that. He'll mix in a curveball and a changeup just for show. But Tehran, he was assigned as a non-drafted free agent July of 2007, so he's young. He's just 26 years old with a bright future, a good arm.
Ezequiel Carrera, the leadoff man, he popped out to the left fielder his first time up. Went right back to the same spot and gets strike 2. Well, I really like the way Tyler Flowers gets down and presents that very affirmative target for his pitcher. Gets down on one knee. Obviously, there's no one on base, so he can do whatever he wants, but he really presents a very, very distinct target.
Tell you what, for a big man, he gives a good low target, doesn't he? He is put together back there. So you never know where baseballs are going to come even when you're hitting. Watch this foul ball by Carrera, and here comes, bam! It hits him on the replay there, just right off of the back screen.
Yeah, you don't expect it to come back at you. But many of these ballparks have extended their screens beyond the dugout. And here in Atlanta, they have really extended them all the way to the far ends of both dugouts.
You know what I've noticed here also? That the stands are very close to the playing field.
Little chopper off home plate. Tehran will flip it to Peterson, who makes a nice play. Jace Peterson making his first big league start at first. Looks very comfortable over at first base bat.
Presented by Honda. The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Get there fast. Leave even faster.
Beautiful SunTrust Park in its first season here in Atlanta. John Gibbons and the Blue Jays will head out after this ball game, go to Baltimore for a 3-game weekend series, and it is a gorgeous ballpark. They've done a terrific job of capturing the neighborhood. And from our position here in the press box, you can see downtown Atlanta, probably about 15 miles away from here. Here is the catcher Tyler Flowers, enjoying a good start to his season, batting .347 at the start of play.
How about the on-base percentage for Tyler Flowers this season? Wasn't expecting to see that.
Nearly 500. Flowers was originally drafted by the Braves. He went to Chicago and spent 7 seasons playing with the White Sox. This is his second year back in Atlanta. He, like Jose Bautista and Russell Martin, played college baseball at Chipola Junior College in Marietta, Florida. Stroman's got good stuff tonight. You can see there's a little extra hop in his fastball, and his slider is very, very tight and quick breaking.
His slider has been good for his last couple of starts. Of course, he had the 9 strikeouts in his last start against Seattle. I think a lot of it is about making adjustments in game. If you can spin the ball like he can, use it until they prove that they can hit it. We've also seen Marcus go out there and use his sinker on occasions and get ground balls and have a game where he has 1 strikeout.
That's a fair ball over the bag, and Morales is arguing that it was foul. First base umpire Quinn Wolcott called it fair, and it's confirmed by the home plate umpire Paul Emmel. Stroman looked in at the home plate umpire, and Emmel just indicated, holding his mask into fair territory, that indeed it went over the corner of the bag. John Gibbons, of course, has a pretty good vantage point from the Blue Jays' third base dugout.
Yeah, and it's not a reviewable play because it's in front of the umpires. Right off the end of the bat. Look at the slider with the movement. You can see Quinn Wolcott right there. He was watching it. He was right there and then got out of the way. So leadoff double for Flowers.
I'll tell you what. Marcus Stroman gives up a lot of base hits, but a lot of them are just like that last one. Here he makes a nice athletic play to get out Jace Peterson. But ground ball to find holes. That was cued off the end of the bat. It goes for a double. Looks like a line drive in the scorebook, but you can see it bounces just over the edge of the bag, and then when it hits again, it bounces away from Morales. But he gives up a lot of those hits.
I am with you on that one. We have watched pretty much every one of Marcus Stroman's starts, and when he's got that ground ball working, we have seen it so many times, especially this year, that ball is finding holes and it's weak contact, but it just finds holes, or he jams guys and it gets into the outfield. That's why at times that batting average is elevated. They're hitting .313 against this fastball, but he makes good pitches with that fastball.
1 out. Dansby Swanson, the pitcher. I go back to his last start on Saturday against the Mariners. In the first inning, Ben Gamble had a ground ball to the shortstop. Goins caught it, didn't have a play. That's 1 hit. Later on in the game, Gerard Dyson hit a ground ball to the second baseman. Dyson beat it out. Wasn't sharply hit, just hit in the right spot.
A lot of infield hits, a lot of seeing eye hits. What he needs right now is a strikeout. And with that good slider, he put fastball in the mind of Dansby Swanson right now with that first pitch fastball.
Of course, every time there's a pitch up and into a hitter, the crowd's going to react as if it was intentional.
That was intentional. It was intentional to put fastball on his mind again, so now he can use that slider. Again, he needs some weak contact back to the mound or a strikeout.
1-1 pitch. Just a bit low.
He's going to be a good player. You can tell he's got all the actions of being a pretty good shortstop. He just needs some time now at the big league level and learn the game.
Good pitch. Breaking ball late. Caught the outside corner to Swanson. 2-2 now. 1 out. Tyler Flowers is at third base. He has squibbed double down the first base line. Went to third on the ground out. Strike 3 call. He started that breaking ball off the plate inside, and he front doored Swanson for the strikeout.
You know, I don't know if he wanted to, but it worked out nicely. Luke Maile was set up on the outside part of the plate, but he froze him that time. Here's the usage and what Marcus Stroman will use, and it's a little bit of everything. Fastball 65% of the time. He's got the slider and the cutter, a curveball and a changeup. He used the slider a lot last time. He got a lot of swings and misses, 14 swings and misses, 11 of them out of the strike zone. So when it's working like that, it's sweeping out of the strike zone. He's going to get a share of strikeouts.
This is Rio Ruiz, who was just called up from the minors. He is just 22 years old. In fact, he's just days away from his 23rd birthday. AAA Gwinnett, not far from here. He hit 262 with 4 homers.
He was originally with the Houston Astros with that organization. But Atlanta got him from Houston. He was part of that Evan Gattis trade. We saw another piece of that last night. Mike Fultonevich came to Atlanta also for Evan Gattis. This kid looks like he knows how to handle the bat, doesn't he?
He got into 5 games last year, and he hits it sharply, but right to Coughlin. He knocks it down, stays on it, and Stroman leaves a base runner at third. That leadoff double didn't factor in. Bautista will lead things off. The Blue Jays are up early, 3-0 over Atlanta. Blue Jays lineup will lead things off here in the third, and last night he homered. Blue Jays were down 8-3 hit this home run off Eric O'Flaherty and then tossed the bat aside, and Jace Peterson, the first baseman, had something to say to Bautista. He continues around the bases, and then his first at bat, Julio Teheran hits him with the pitch, and Bautista will take first base.
Run number 6 in the 8th inning last night. The bat speed seems to be coming around. That was one of his 3 hits last night. Atlanta taking exception to the bat flip. Kurt Suzuki had something to say to Jose when he got to the plate. You mentioned Jace Peterson, who was a college football player. Defensive back, he wasn't afraid to hit people. He had something to say as he rounded first base.
Fastball away to Bautista. You would think that everything has been resolved now, and Bautista took his base calmly. He came around to score the first run for the Blue Jays in that 3-run first inning.
Baseball players have a way of settling things, don't they?
It used to be a lot easier to do. Now with all the warnings in place, it's not quite as easy, but yeah. We had a knack for making a mental note. Note to self. You got to get even with this guy. You know, over the years as a catcher, I called for pitches at batters before. Whatever, something they did, something we felt we had to respond to, but I never called a pitch against a hitter because he was hot. It was on me to figure out how to get him out, and it was my fault he was getting hits. I never felt like you should penalize a guy just because he was good.
I never understood that. You know, back in the day, if a guy hit a home run, the next guy was going to get knocked down. I never understood that. You know, why are you throwing at me? I didn't hit it. Right?
That was the common practice, man.
That was the common practice. Or if you hit a couple of base hits and all that kind of stuff, oh, we're going to pitch you inside.
This has popped up. Flowers back, gives us a look, gets over the screen. One of my first games in the majors, 1969, Louis Tiant was pitching against us, and Joe Foy hit ahead of me. Joe Foy hit a home run. Now, I'm 20 years old. I don't even know what's going on. And I get up there and he throws one right at my head and I get out of the way. And when I got up, he's standing 15 feet in front of me. Say, "What are you looking at?" I said, "I'm not looking at anything." Bautista drills this one to left, and it's over the head of Kemp. Plays it off the wall one-handed. Bautista is headed for second. He'll get there with another double. Bautista's really swinging, and that's 8 doubles now for Jose. A leadoff double here in the third.
I'll tell you what, his bat speed is faster. Watch how he gets on top of this thing and drives it. Doesn't pop it up, doesn't swing through it. He gets through that quickly. And that was a 370-foot line drive over the head of Matt Kemp in left field, and he stretches it into a double.
He's been on base twice now. That was a beautiful swing, and a double. We mentioned number 8 for the season to go along with his 6 home runs. Bautista headed in the right direction. So Tehran now with a runner at second base, making sure they are on the same page with Tyler Flowers. Bautista came into this game batting .357 over his last 8 games.
Get the foot down and get the bat through. That's what they want to do. They want him to get through that baseball and pull it. That's when he's at his most dangerous.
That was his first hit against Julio Tehran. He had been 0 for 7, including that hit by a pitch in the first. Kendrys Morales singled and scored. He singled to the right side of the third baseman, Rio Ruiz. We had played him in a more pronounced shift than they are right now. Ruiz has straightened up a bit at third.
He throws hard, Tehran. He's got a good fastball, and he's keeping the ball away from Morales. That's why I'm a little surprised that they're playing him in a shift like that. Tough to get around on a fastball like that.
Dansby Swanson behind the bag at second. He's the shortstop. Bautista did a good job of getting in the head of Tehran. Tehran was looking right at him. Bautista inched off a little bit further from second, and Tehran wasn't close to the strike zone.
Heater away, and they put on the pickoff on at second base, trying to keep that ball away. Morales is thinking about trying to pull the ball. Tell you what, if you keep throwing that fastball out there, drive him in. Don't try and just move him up to third base. Try and drive him in.
Yeah, he's going to try to drive the ball. The outfield is almost straight away for Morales. Goes the other way again. Kemp coming over. It's going to get down for a base hit. Bautista's around third. He's going to score. Morales will hold it first with an RBI single. He's 2 for 2 so far tonight.
If you're going to pitch me away like that, Morales has the type of swing that he can go the other way and drive in that run. That's why I'm a little surprised they had 3 infielders on the right side of the infield. Another RBI for Morales. That's his 22nd as he serves that ball to left field. That ball is going away from him. Hard fastball sinker down and away. Bautista's going to score without a throw.
So the Blue Jays lead it 4-0. 5 hits already against Tehran, and his problems here at SunTrust Park continue. Siciliani turns on that inside pitch, probably broke his bat. We get a new piece of wood.
Find the one with the hit in it right there. Tehran's fastball, I told you it's a good fastball, a good slider, just not locating it right now. Anything from the thigh to the belt is not good, and that's about where his fastball has been tonight. Keeps that ball down, he can win. He can win big.
Morales, with the first baseman playing behind him, takes his lead at first. Siciliani, as Pat mentioned earlier, got up to a bad start in AAA Buffalo. He's 27 years old. He played in 21 games in AAA. Did not hit a homer, hit just 145 in fact.
He said, I had no chance. I was walking into those at-bats up to the plate having no chance. And that's a bad feeling when you feel. He goes, I get up there and all of a sudden it's 0-2. Every at bat it was 0-2, and the pitch looked like about the size of an aspirin. I just couldn't do anything. But then one day it just clicks in. Start hitting the ball.
This ball is going to go out of here. Get up, ball, home run, Daryl Siciliani. He's hitting like a cleanup hitter, and he might have hurt himself. He's hanging his left shoulder as if it might have come out of socket or something.
Yeah,
that is bizarre.
Tim Leeper was all over that too. You can see he's just holding it down by his side right now. And I think it's his shoulder.
Certainly looks like his left shoulder. And he is in some pain.
That ball was absolutely covered by Siciliani. Another fat fastball over the middle of the plate, and something's wrong. Let's see if we can take a look. It's his left shoulder. Yeah, he felt something.
Right at the top of the shoulder, it makes you feel like he might have hyperextended that shoulder. And Dwight Smith's right behind him, and Smith's going to go into this game. He's got his glove on already. Siciliani is done, and what a shame. RBI double and a 2-run home run, and he suffered an apparent injury on that home run swing. That home run for Siciliani was his 5th career home run, and the Blue Jays now have a 6-0 lead. Oakland lifts one into center field. Long run for Inciarte. He will get there and make the catch. That's the first out of the inning.
This is a powerful, strong swing, but something happened in that follow through. Cordero felt it at the top, and all of a sudden he just puts that arm down at his side and finishes off the home run trot. Never seen a guy hit a ball like that and get injured.
And it's not his power hand. It was his opposite shoulder. It was really interesting. It's very curious. But somewhere somebody's got a Blue Jay voodoo doll. Just sticking pins in these guys. My goodness. How many injuries can they sustain? When Barney hits it in the air, shortstop's got it. Swanson makes the catch, 2 away.
Even when things go right for the Blue Jays, they've gone wrong.
Isn't that the truth?
Guy hits a 2-run home run, and he's injured, and it looks like he's going to have to leave tonight's ball game.
Siciliani did not hit a home run in AAA Buffalo, and here in his second at bat tonight, he homers with a man on. So his night will come to an end apparently with a double and a home run and 3 RBIs. Ryan Goins lined out to the left fielder, and now it's raining here. And the fans are scurrying for cover. And that literally came out of nowhere. But it is Georgia, and it is a rainy night.
Maybe just a little passing shower tonight. The fans are passing.
Right now it's passing into our booth. And Paul Hamill says, I've seen enough. He's going to bring the tarp out as the skies have opened up here at SunTrust Park in a hurry. I mean, it came out of nowhere. So now they're scampering to cover the field and save this playing surface. It appears as though it's just a passing thunderstorm because we see a lot of blue sky. Well, we certainly didn't think this was going to happen right then. And now they've got the home plate area covered. The mound is covered. And I don't know if they're going to get the tarp out or not, but it Looks like they're going to deploy the field tarp as well.
This looks like by the time they get this thing on here, it's going to stop. You know.
Now they're going to cover the field, and as they do, we will take a break and enjoy this ball game. 6-0 for the Blue Jays, and the tarp is coming on the field. He is going through his warm-up routine. The Braves fielders have taken the field, and we are in the midst of a 6-0 Blue Jays game right now. The rains came down very unexpectedly and very quickly, and now we understand it's not going to come back for the rest of the night. Let's take a look at how we got to where we are at this moment. And of course, Pat, this is kind of what we expected early in the game.
He missed with his first pitch, but his second pitch connected to Jose Bautista, hit him in the thigh. Jose would trot down to first base, go to second base on a single. Darryl Siciliani would then come up with a couple of runners on base, and he's going to double into the right field corner. The Blue Jays get a run. Chris Coghlan followed that with a double, and then Siciliani's going to drive in a couple of more runs in the third inning. With a runner on base, Jose Bautista had doubled deep to left field. Morales singled him in, and then Siciliani homers. And then it looks like he injures his shoulder as he rounds the bases, and that's where we sit 6-0 here in the third inning.
Ryan Goins is the batter. There are 2 outs here in the top of the third inning, and 6-0 Blue Jays have the lead. We have not been given an update on Siciliani and the extent of his injury, but it did look like he was going to be able to return. But now, who knows? Maybe he had enough time to go in there, get some attention, get some treatment. He hasn't been taken out of the game yet officially. So maybe there's a chance he can get back in this game. So Ryan Goins, he lined out to left field his first time up. He'll step back in the box with nobody on and 2 outs. And that's Dwight Smith, who has just been called up from AAA Buffalo to take the place of Kevin Pillar, who has been suspended by the ball club. So Smith is getting loose in the dugout, and we saw him have his glove earlier before the rain delay after Siciliani had returned to the dugout with that apparent injury. "35-minute rain delay" as Goins fouls off the first pitch. 1-2 count, 2 outs on Ryan Goins. 35-minute rain delay.
That's got to be the hardest thing. It's 1-2. You're going to be facing a guy who's fresh, and you got to be ready to swing the bat.
Tehran wants another sign. Blue Jays have scored 3 runs here in the third. Tehran had a clean second inning. 3 up, 3 down, no problem. First and third, not so kind. Off the plate inside. We talked about Tehran and his problems here at SunTrust Park this season. He came in with an ERA of 8.10. Currently, that stands at 9.51.
That is a shock when you watch how this guy works and the stuff that comes out of that arm.
Goins hits it foul on the ground.
Just threw 51 pitches before that rain delay, so I'm glad they were able to bring him back out here. That's the last thing that managers want to have to deal with, is going to the bullpen in the third inning. Jose Bautista is happy with his night.
Strike 3 come. Goins caught looking at the fastball. Second strikeout of the game for Tehran. That ends the top half of the third. The Blue Jays have a 6-0 lead. Marcus Stroman set to come back for the bottom of the third.
to My Blue Jays and enter the code MBJ7678 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching tonight's broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. The code must be entered by 4 a.m. Look for a new code tomorrow. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. As we resume things here after a 35-minute rain delay. And how about this? Dwight Smith Jr. making his major league debut here. Just called up from AAA Buffalo. And he is a hometown native of the Atlanta area. He grew up in Peachtree City, Georgia. Now, he's got a lot of family and friends here. And with that, he moves to left. Siciliani, who was in left, moves to center. Carrera moves to center to take over for Siciliani, who injured himself while hitting a home run. Marcus Stroman will work to the pitcher, Julio Teheran. He delivers the first pitch strike.
Thought I saw his father here, Dwight's father here today. Didn't he play for the Braves?
Yes.
After the Cubs? You mentioned a hometown. Tell you what, he's got a great number. Number 15. Used to wear that number.
You wore that number a long time. Two and 0 to the pitcher, Julio Teheran. A 125 batting average. It's this one on the ground. Barney waits for it, takes it on the big hop. One away. First time through the order, Stroman gave up a 2-out single to Markakis and a leadoff double to Tyler Flowers, but both runners were stranded. He has 3 strikeouts through 2 1/3.
Soften up that grass with the rain on it now. That sinker is going to just, everything hit out in front of home plate and on the grass is just going to die. So let's see if that sinker keeps working.
One out, back to the top of the order. Inciarte struck out his first time up. Slider missed low. 2-0. Now 3-0. We know how powerful this Braves lineup is. We have really done a number on the Blue Jays. They've outscored the Blue Jays coming into this game 27-15. The Blue Jays closed the gap on them a little bit with 6 runs so far tonight. There's a strike. Inciarte played 2 years in Arizona. Won a Gold Glove in 14 and 15. Good player. That's foul ball.
Solid player. They were able to get Dansby Swanson and Ender Inciarte for Shelby Miller.
And Shelby Miller just had Tommy John surgery, so he's going to miss a year of pitching.
This guy's a good little player. You mentioned the Gold Glove, and he puts up good at bats, but this time Marcus Stroman just a little bit better. All the way back from 3-0. Looked like he cut the fastball right in on his hands as he goes to swing. Can't extend through it. That is the 4th strikeout already for Stroman.
Stroman had 9 strikeouts in his last start over 6 innings. That was against the Seattle Mariners last Saturday. The veteran Brandon Phillips. Phillips now 35 years old. He was a 2nd-round pick of the Montreal Expos in 1999.
He was also with the Cleveland Indians. He was part of that trade for Bartolo Colon, and as he got close to the big leagues, they had no room for him on the team. The Indians were a very good team in the early 2000s. They designated him, and the Reds picked him up, and the rest is history. This guy has had a borderline Hall of Fame type of career.
He was in Cleveland 2002, 2005, just parts of those seasons. Then he went to Cincinnati, played 11 years in Cincinnati. He was a 4-time Gold Glover. in 11. He had a career season in 2011. He was an all-star, won the Gold Glove and the Silver Slugger Award. He hit 300 with 18 home runs and 82 RBIs.
Closing in on 2,000 hits in his career.
Takes his strike.
Like he was taking that one all the way. 30 home runs in 2007 to go along with 30 stolen bases. A 30-30 man.
Did he swing? Yes, he did, according to the home plate umpire.
Your mind says you want to go do it, and your body says no, you better not. And Brandon ends up swinging through that one.
Lines that one into the seats. Foul. Brandon Phillips got into 112 games with Cleveland in 2003. That's the most he ever played there. 2004, 2005. He wasn't there very much. Checks on that breaking ball. We'll take a 2-out walk. First walk issued by Stroman.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Great statue of the great Hank Aaron, number 44, and he's an iconic figure around baseball, and especially here in Atlanta. The Hammer, number 44. He hit 44 home runs 3 times in his career. That was kind of cool.
Never hit 50.
No, 47 was the highest.
Yeah, never hit 50, but still ended up with 755 home runs.
They've done a great job of honoring several of their players around this new ballpark. There's a statue and a bobblehead of Eddie Matthews. I saw one of John Smoltz and Greg Maddux. Tom Glavine is working tonight with Chip Carey and Joe Simpson on their TV broadcast. Markakis bounces it back to the pitcher, and that'll do it. A 2-out walk and nothing more for the Braves. Will go to the 4th. The Blue Jays and Marcus Stroman with a 6-0 lead.
MasterCard Memorial Cup begins. The St. John Sea Dogs take on the Windsor Spitfires Friday on Sportsnet. All the action gets going at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Bye.
Thank you, Hazel. Great hockey action in Memorial Cup, and all of that begins, and it's always a great event to make sure you check out. Blue Jays doing a good job getting off to a good start here tonight in Atlanta, trying to salvage the final game of this home-and-home 4-game series. For the Blue Jays, in the top of the 4th, it'll be the catcher Luke Maile, then the pitcher Marcus Stroman, and back to the top of the order, Ezekiel Carrera. In case you're just joining us, Kevin Pillar has been suspended by the Blue Jays for 2 games. He will not be around the club here, and he will miss the first game in Baltimore. So with that, Dwight Smith Jr. has been called up from AAA Buffalo, and he's made his major league debut defensively in left field.
And we might see him hit this inning. He is scheduled to hit 6th this inning. Maybe Blue Jays can get to him. Pilar's already gone to Baltimore. We saw Kevin today at a press conference. Then hopped on a plane, and he's going to meet the team in Baltimore.
As a strike, it's 1-1 to the catcher, Luke Maile. There's a drive to left field. Get up, ball kept looking up. This ball's going to go. Home run, Luke Maile. Maile's done a nice job behind the plate. He had a hit, scored a run last night, drove in a run, and tonight he connects for his first home run of the season.
First home run and first RBI of the season. The slider from Tehran out in front of the plate, and Maile recognized it, stayed back that extra split second, and then went right through the baseball. Happy smiles all around by the Blue Jays in that dugout.
7-0 Jays. That's the 4th career home run for Luke Maile. So Siciliani hit his first home run of the season. Now Maile does the same. This is the pitcher, Marcus Stroman.
How about that? What a feeling. Come over to your new team. You get to get in it. You want to do something with the bat. Look at the smile on his face.
Yeah, he has really been struggling with the bat, and he's been catching very well, throwing very well, and now he finally makes a contribution with the bat that makes you feel good.
Looked like a slider from Julio Tehran, and his troubles continue in this ballpark. We told you it's a great hitter's ballpark. The fence down the left field line, not very tall. That's the bullpen of the Blue Jays, and Luke Maile's got his first home run as a Blue Jay.
He's a big, strong guy, and he got a hold of that one and knocks it into the bullpen. Second home run for the Jays tonight. Jays have homered in 9 straight games.
Mark is handling that bat. Struck out his first time up. He's in a hole right now. He's fouled off a couple of tough pitches.
Two. Drives this ball to right and deep. Markakis looking up. Home run for Marcus Stroman. An opposite field home run. How about that?
Look at that. Look at the faces of the Blue Jays in that dugout. Got to get that ball back. Someone's got to get out there and get that baseball. He said, I'm not going to go up there and be an out. I'm going to be dangerous. And he was dangerous on that 0-2 pitch.
He stayed on it. He hit that high fastball, went the other way, and it carried into the seats in right. Third home run of the ball game. There's going to be some negotiation going on for that baseball. You can bat.
Hold on to that one, or throw it back if you want to, but hold on to it because the Blue Jays got to send somebody out there and get that ball back.
The Blue Jays, with 3 home runs tonight, have now hit 28 home runs in the month of May. This is their 17th game, and you see they're documenting that baseball. This is Marcus Stroman's first big league home run, an opposite field home run in Atlanta.
Give him a bat. Give him 5 baseballs.
Give him a signed Stroman jersey.
There you go.
That's all you got to do, and you'll get that ball back. I know Earl Stroman would like to have that souvenir right there. Marcus's dad. And you can see there's a Blue Jay fan with a Tulo shirt on saying, hey, let me shoot this thing down.
What would be cool would be the ball and the bat. Mount that with some autographs, maybe the scorecard from the game.
Ezekiel Carrera with a 2-2 count. Lays out that low pitch.
And you know what else you got to do? Blue Jays win the ball game. Get the box score. Put the box score along with that baseball. It's been a long time since the Blue Jays have had a pitcher hit a home run, huh?
Only one other pitcher has homered in franchise history. Mark Hendrickson, June 21st, 2003 at Montreal. So Marcus Stroman has put his name in the record books. Another look at this beautiful home run swing. This is a 2-strike swing, folks.
What is he saying right now? Get up, get up, get out of here. And now you can break it down and get into that home run trot. What a thing of beauty. Back-to-back home runs by the Blue Jays.
And another rough outing for Julio Teheran here at home in Atlanta. He gives up 8 runs on 8 hits, gives up 3 home runs, and going to have to regroup a little bit pitching here at home. Bowman struck out in his first at bat, and he's got 2 strikes in this at bat here in the 4th. He didn't strike out this time, Pat.
He got that ball up and away from him, went right with it, and just shot it out of the ballpark for his first home run. Devin Travis is saying, is it that easy, Marcus? Is it that easy to go up there? He hit a double in St. Louis and scored the game-winning run. Struck out tonight and then homered back-to-back. Luke Maile and Marcus Stroman.
Sam Freeman into the game, the lefty to face Jose Bautista. Still nobody out here in the 4th. Carrera's at first. Bautista gets a base hit through the right side. Carrera will stop at second. And the hits just keep on coming. 9 hits now for the Jays.
And here are the numbers for Sam Freeman. Just 4 games this season for Freeman. The last time he worked was the day before the ball club came to Toronto to start this 4-game series, 2/3 of an inning. He's one of 3 lefties that they have in that bullpen. They just brought his contract up at the beginning of this month from their AAA team, so that's why he's only had 4 games this season.
Freeman was with the Brewers last season, appeared in just 7 games. Kendrys Morales will turn around and bat right-handed for the first time tonight. He's 2 for 2, a couple of singles and an RBI. He goes back up the middle and gets another base hit. Carrera's being waved home. Inciarte, his throw is wide, and Morales has driven in another run. His second RBI of the game, his third hit. That gives him 23 ribbies as Carrera comes in to score. Bautista stops at second.
One of these nights for the Blue Jays where everything they swing at is going to find a hole or find the seats. He doesn't waste any time jumping on that first pitch. So Freeman's thrown a couple of pitches, given up a couple of hits. Here comes Carrera with another run.
First major league at bat for Dwight Smith Jr. Siciliani started. He doubled and homered, and then he left the game with an injury. So a memorable at bat for Dwight Smith Jr. coming here in his hometown. He was born in Peachtree City, Georgia. His father, Dwight Smith, finished up his career while playing for the Braves.
That was in 1995 and 96.
Dwight Smith Jr. played in 36 games in AAA at Buffalo, his first season in AAA. He was hitting .297 with 3 homers and 17 RBIs at the time of his call-up. He was drafted in the first round, 53rd pick overall in 2011. Think his heart's pounding a little bit right now?
Yes, and it should be.
Yes, sir.
Hey, there's nothing like getting called up that day and then getting into the game. The last thing you want to do is get called up and then sit around and watch a major league game. You want to get called up and get put right into the action.
But then how about getting called up in your hometown and getting into the action against your hometown club? That's pretty special. And you're wearing Pat Tabler's uniform number 2.
Long time ago. I'll tell you what, 3-1 counts. Boy, it's something.
Hit a homer.
Yeah, you can handle and hit it hard.
Borderline strike. Now it's a full count. Still nobody out. The Jays have 4 hits in the inning. They have scored 3 runs, back-to-back home runs to start the inning. Luke Maile and Marcus Stroman. We mentioned Teheran and his struggles here in this ballpark. His ERA at home now is 10.13.
Wow.
Hard to believe.
Hard to believe when you watch him pitch and the stuff that he has, but you know the numbers aren't lying, and there's a lot of numbers this year.
Another 3-2 pitch to Dwight Smith Jr. Pops this one up. That's going to be out of play over the Blue Jays dugout. Teheran's road ERA 0.71. It's just hard to explain.
He's got the talent, and that's why what he has done here at home, for me, it's got to be in his head that he's worried trying to make too perfect of pitches, and the Blue Jays really jumped all over him tonight.
He hits that one hard, but well foul into the seats.
Blue Jays put 9 Ernies on Teheran tonight.
All 4. So Dwight Smith Jr. will take a walk in his first big league at bat. That loads the bases and nobody out.
The all-new 2017 CR-V. With revamped cargo space, it's the biggest fan yet. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and proud fan since 1977.
Brand new ballpark here in Atlanta, SunTrust Park, and the Blue Jays lost last night's game 8-4. They lead 9-0 here tonight. Blue Jays scored 9 runs on 10 hits. Chris Coghlan drove in a pair of runs with a double in the first. Coghlan facing the left-hander Freeman. Freeman is 29 years old. He was selected by the Cardinals in 2008 and then went from the Cardinals to Cardinals, Milwaukee, and now here in Atlanta.
Signed with the Braves in November, this past November. He's got pretty good velocity for a left-handed reliever. About 92, 93, 94 with the fastball. He's got some cutting action on it. He likes to pitch inside, doesn't give up a lot of home runs.
Pulled foul past Tim Leeper, the first base coach for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays needed a game like this. And they've lost another player to an apparent injury. Daryl Siciliani, after homering, took a swing and then grabbed his left shoulder as he was making his way around the bases. We have not been given any update information on his injury.
Blue Jays haven't had many laughers this year, have they? Where they can just go up there, relax, just play the game. Seems like every game has been tight, close games, back and forth. Now they've jumped out to a big lead. Just relax. Look at the smiles on the players.
It's been a rough couple of days at the hands of the Braves. Blue Jays had won 5 in a row when Atlanta came to Rogers Center, and then they kind of thought, well, you know what, Atlanta's not playing well right now. Just see if we can't really get closer to 500. Atlanta won 10-6, 9-5 at the Rogers Center, and then came down here and they won 8-4 last night. So you just got to be careful and get ready to play whoever you're playing on a given night.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who you're playing. Throw out all the records and all of that. Just get out there and just play the game.
2-2 now to Coghlan. Calling for the swing. And now he's checking with Paul Emmel. You call it, or did I swing? Looks like he called him for a swing. And Coghlan is out. That's the first out of the inning.
Well, let's see. Thought he checked it. And there's nothing wrong with a hitter going up to the umpire like that and asking, hey, did you call that on the pitch or did you call that on the swing? From that reaction, it looks like he's called it on the swing.
Darwin Barney's 0 for 2 so far. Shoots this one down the right side, but it's going to slice foul. Barney is the 8th Blue Jay to bat this inning. And remember, it started with Mahle and Stroman going back-to-back with home runs. First home run for each, the catcher and the pitcher.
Amazing. I mean, amazing. Not that they hit a home run, you know, but how they did that back-to-back against a pretty good pitcher.
It doesn't happen very often. I don't care if you're a seasoned veteran or not as a pitcher. I mean, how many times have we heard pitchers going back-to-back in home run situations? Doesn't happen very often. But Marcus Stroman, his first major league home run, comes back-to-back with his catcher.
You know the best part about that, Marcus? Backing up what he said he was going to do. He said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to do some damage up there at the plate.
Ground ball to second. Phillips flips to Swanson. That's it. Double play. But the Blue Jays send 8 men to the plate. They score 3 more runs. They have a 9-0 lead, and Marcus Stroman, his first big league home run, to the delight of a lot of Blue Jays teammates.
Is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At-Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Thank you very much, Hazel May. Buck Martinez along with Pat Tabler here in Atlanta. Marcus Stroman set to work the bottom of the 4th. 3 innings, 2 hits. He has walked a batter and struck out 4, and it's taken him just 47 pitches.
Anything else he does tonight is anticlimactic. He's already had a great night, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He has homered for his first major league home run. He has 2 hits as a big leaguer, 1 double as a pinch hitter, and now a home run. That Kemp bends back from an inside fastball. Kemp struck out his first time out. Taking all the way.
Marcus has that ability to quick pitch you, change his routine. Hitting is all about timing, and Marcus tries to throw off the timing of those batters by varying the way he throws.
Kemp hits it over Morales into right field. He's a good breaking ball hitter, and you make a mistake with a breaking ball, he's going to get a hit.
That's why I'd like to see them pound him inside a little bit more. That's a breaking ball. He struck him out last time on a mistake, a pitch that was up. This time they wanted to throw that breaking ball away. You can see Luke Maile staying away from Matt Kemp, but it stays on the inside part of the plate. Picks up yet another hit in this 4-game series.
Kemp has now reached base in 22 straight games. This is the catcher, Tyler Flowers. He had a double against Stroman. But if you would look at the box score and say, okay, that's a double, he actually squibbed it off the end of the mound. It just bounced over the edge of the first base bag. He ended up at second, but was stranded at third in the second inning.
Go right after him. That's exactly what he did right there. He's always 1 pitch away from throwing a ground ball double play. If that 2-seam sinker is working, he'll keep his infielders busy.
Right there, Flowers knew it, just walks away. That's 4 strikeouts for Marcus Stroman. Check that, that's his 5th strikeout. He has been great when facing the National League. His previous 11 interleague appearances, he's got a good ERA at 2.18. Opponent's hitting just 2.41. And the ground ball rate, it's consistent, Pat. He can get some ground balls.
Get it right at the infielders, and you're going to have some quick innings. I like that the team is 9-2 in those 11 starts versus the National League. Tell you what, he was looking forward to this start when the team was back on the homestand. Blue Jays just came from the Rogers Center, had a long homestand, and he was looking forward to this. You'd see him out there bunting, taking extra batting practice, talking about this start right here. He had no way of knowing how important this start was going to be when the team was back home. But this was a big start because Blue Jays need a win.
He's certainly filling the role of stopper tonight. 9-0 Blue Jays. Chase Peterson making his first career start at first base. Now it's tipped it. I spoke to Ron Washington today. Washington was out working with Chase Peterson at first base, giving him some tips. He said, today we worked on the physical part of playing first base. Tomorrow I'll work on the mental part as far as how you shift your feet, where you get your rhythm, talk about bunt plays and all of that. I said, Wash, that reminded me of the movie Moneyball. He said when Billy Beane said, you know, tell him it's easy, Wash. Tell him playing first is easy. We're talking to Scott Hatteberg in the movie. Wash said it's extremely difficult.
And he's right. He's right. First base thing, you think, well, they put all the non-athletes over there and you just catch the ball. That is not true. You are involved in every ground ball play just about. You got to have good footwork. You got to be able to move around that bag. He's right.
Another strikeout for Stroman. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 6 in the game. Hansby Swanson goes after the first pitch. Coghlan has it. Another easy inning after the Kemp leadoff single. No problem. We'll go to the 5th. Blue Jays lead at 9-0. Now time for a Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn in the Samsung Broadcast Studio. World Elite MasterCard, Canada's #1 rated rewards card. Now time for the schedule ahead, brought to you by WestJet. Blue Jays will wrap up this short series here in Atlanta and then head to Baltimore to take on the Orioles. The Orioles already finished their game today and they lost to Detroit at Comerica. Dylan Bundy took the loss, and then Monday's an off day for the Blue Jays. They'll play Milwaukee Tuesday. Wednesday is an afternoon game and then another off day.
That off day on Monday after the Baltimore series, the Blue Jays' first off day in 17 days. They've been battling some injuries. They've had some problems in the starting rotation with injuries. That off day is going to feel good, I think, for the team.
Welcome indeed. This is Ryan Goins, the shortstop. Goins is 0 for 2. Goins was at the plate when the skies opened up and they delayed the game. It was a 35-minute rain delay. And he would return and eventually was called out on strikes. Good pitch. Freeman gets that pitch down and away.
And they've been keeping the ball away to Goins. Ryan 0 for 2 tonight. He was 0 for 4 in last night's ball game. 0 for 4 in the game at Rogers Center. And 0 for 5. So he's 0 for in this series, and they've just been keeping the ball away from him.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact he's had to play every day. And he has played every day and filling in for Troy Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki played tonight. He got 3 at-bats in Dunedin playing shortstop. Got a couple of hits, drove in a run. And then he left that ball game. So obviously he's the one that's going to have to determine when he's right.
And when he lets everybody know that he is right, he'll be back up here. Until then, Ryan's filled in beautifully for him at shortstop.
Checks his swing, and the appeal down to Brian Honora at third. He said no swing, so it's a 2-2 count for Goins.
Another fastball away.
That's called strike 3 on Goins. 1 away.
Buy 6 cans of Beauty Tone paint and get the 7th free. Available exclusively at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Beauty Tone, Canada's color experts.
Beautiful shot of new SunTrust Park here in Atlanta, Georgia. And it is a very, very nice ballpark. They did a terrific job. Everybody involved is really in a good position. Players, the fans, and certainly the broadcasters. Luke Manley goes after the first pitch, grounds it to third. Ruiz has it. 2 quick outs. So Marcus Stroman will step to the plate with nobody on and 2 outs. And last time up, in case you missed it.
Well, I hope Marcus can get a tape of this game, because this is a thing of beauty. 2 strikes, no problem. Up and away, get it up and out of here. The new launching pad here in Atlanta, as Marcus Stroman will pick up his first major league home run.
Opposite field home run for Stroman. Hits that one off the end of the bat. Brandon Phillips will throw him out. Marcus Stroman, 3rd out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. It's all Blue Jays early on here in Atlanta.
Presented by Jack Links. On Sunday, May 28th, the first 20,000 fans will receive this Blue Jays cowboy hat. And an unforgettable pregame performance by Southtown in the WestJet flight deck. Southtown led by lead singer Jordan Gibbons, the daughter of John Gibbons. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com. Looking forward to that one.
What a great day, an opportunity to see that great band, and Gibby, I'm sure, will be very interested in that. Lots of fun.
I hear she's really good.
Yeah.
Really good singer, and Gibby is very proud of her.
Marcus Stroman has had some night tonight, shutting out the Braves on just 3 hits, and he's hit a home run. He and his battery mate, Luke Maile, went back-to-back in the 4th inning, both hitting their first home runs of the season. It's the first time in interleague play that a pitcher and catcher have gone back-to-back with home runs.
First time.
First time. Interleague play began in '97.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great?
That is awesome.
Marcus Stroman also has another distinction. He becomes the first Blue Jay pitcher in franchise history with 2 extra base hits. He had that double in St. Louis, and now he's got a home run tonight.
2 for 3 on the season. Is it that easy?
Ground ball. Coughlin to his right. Ruiz is out, 1 away. Bottom of the 5th inning.
Good pick over there by Kendrys Morales on that wild throw. Chris came up as an outfielder, and he's playing some infield for the Blue Jays because they need some help, and Kendrys Morales picked that one clean.
Well, we had mentioned that Morales was the everyday first baseman for the Angels in 2009. He's making his 364th career start at first base. He's committed just 8 errors. Not too bad over there at first, and if you ask him, he could tell you he could play anywhere. He has caught. He has played in the outfield. He played third base when he first came up in the big leagues in Cuba. And he's got all the pitches for a pitcher. He throws them all. I've seen him. He's got a great split finger pitch. But he tells his teammates all the time during the course of a game, he'll ask a pitcher, how do you throw that slider? No, that's not how you throw it. No. You got to throw it like this. He is a baseball guy through and through.
He was asked, John Gibbons was asked, can you keep him in the lineup with Smoke when the team goes to Milwaukee? Is there any way you can put one of them in the outfield? And he said, well, I guess we could put him in the outfield, but doesn't really want to do that to try and keep his bat in the lineup. So
they're both hot right now.
I know.
I need a way to squeeze them in. You might do it. Sam Freeman, the pitcher. He can run. Just out as Goins throws him out. Freeman getting down the line. 2 ground ball outs here. That's 5 in a row retired by Stroman.
You got that sinker working. The ground is a little soft after the rain. Ball just dies in the infield, so the infielders might have to shorten up just a little bit. Sam Freeman's a good athlete. Gives his effort down the first base line. So it looks like Goins is shortened up just a little bit at shortstop.
Gonna have a tough play here. Inciarte, he beats it up. He shortened up, as you mentioned, but not enough to get Inciarte. That was a tough play for Goins. Going in the hole, having to unload in a hurry. It's an infield hit for Inciarte.
You just can't get enough on that throw. Your momentum is taking you away from first base. He does everything right. You can see he has shortened up at shortstop. Backhands, and Inciarte runs too well. Just outruns the baseball, and he'll be credited with an infield hit. 4th hit of the night for the Braves.
You can't do it any better than Goins did right there. Inciarte just outran the baseball. 2-out single. That'll bring the second baseman Brandon Phillips to the plate. He is 0 for 1 with a walk. flush. The catcher, he got another foul tip.
He had a couple of those in a game back at Rogers Center. Talked to him the next day. He goes, hey, that's part of it. He goes, when I got hit that first time, felt like I had that one looked like it got underneath the shin guards. He felt like he had like a bullseye on his body. And he said, you know what? It's just one of those days. I'm just going to have to suck it up and deal with it. Got hit later in the ball game again on his thigh.
1-2 now to Brandon Phillips. We're in the bottom of the fifth. The Blue Jays have 9 runs on 10 hits. Home runs for Daryl Siciliani, Luke Maile, and Marcus Stroman. How about that? 3 home runs tonight, and each of the home runs are the players' first home runs of the season.
First of their career as a Blue Jay.
For Marcus Stroman, it's his first home run since his freshman season at Duke University. Hit that home run 388 feet. An exit velocity of 100.8 miles an hour.
Backing it up. He said he could do it. And then he goes out there and does it.
I think he's been doing that since he was about 6.
Done a good job of keeping the Atlanta Braves hitters off balance. We've seen him a couple of times looking for breaking balls, and Marcus has crossed him up, thrown him fastballs, and vice versa. Done a good job of mixing it up.
Ooh, look out. That ball ate him up. He's lucky he got the bat on it.
You know, when you see a hitter do that, they're thinking slider away. He's thinking of going out and getting that ball. He's guessing that he's going to get that slider away. And this is what I mean about changing up what they're doing. When he's thinking slider away, Marcus is throwing fastball up and in.
Sharply hit off the glove of Coughlin into center field. Inciarte will stop at second. It's ruled a base hit for Brandon Phillips, his first hit of the night. There's another ground ball that goes for a hit. Marcus Stroman has had some tough luck in this category.
Yeah, infield hit by Inciarte with 2 outs, and then this one would have been a tough play. If Coughlin comes up with it, would have been a nice play, but got some leather on it, slowed it down, and there's another base hit for the Braves, just another single.
Two outs. Nick Markakis is 1 for 2. We finish up on the Maile Stroman back-to-back home runs. The last time American League pitcher and catcher went back-to-back, May 9th, 1970. Tom Egan and Andy Messerschmidt of the Angels went back-to-back. It's the last time it's happened.
Wow.
Foul ball off the bat of Markakis.
1970. May of 1970.
Yep. May 9th, 1970 off Mike Kekich, the Yankee lefty.
Yankees. Wow. He's going to get a couple of more swings tonight, it looks like, too. Can he do it again?
Well, he is 9 men away. It's going to be top of the order when we come back. He might not get another plate appearance. Markakis with a late swing fouls it off. Outside. Cake is hanging tough against Stroman. As we mentioned, the Blue Jays will go to Baltimore, open up tomorrow night against the Orioles. The Orioles 6-5 losers in Detroit this afternoon, so they're probably all comfortable in their beds by now in Baltimore.
Manny Machado did not play in that game today for the Orioles. But they did what they do. A couple of more home runs. They hit 3 more home runs today.
Aaron Sanchez will open up against Chris Tillman tomorrow night from Oriole Park at Camden Yards. One kick just fouls that one back. Saturday night, and remember it's a unusual start time for a Baltimore game. The game time is 7:35 Eastern time. Mike Bolsinger will go up against Kevin Gausman. And then on Sunday, it'll be an afternoon game, of course, a 1:35 start. Marco Estrada against Wade Miley, the lefty. Markakis hits it on the ground. Goins will gather and throw across the diamond in time. The Braves leave up there. Blue Jays have a 9-0 lead. It'll be the top of the order. Ezekiel Carrera will lead things off. Bautista is 2 for 2. Kendrys Morales is 3 for 3. He's having a big night.
Liriano earlier today. Martin, working his way back from that nerve issue in his left shoulder, said for the second straight day he felt 100%. Martin said he's trying to get in as many reps as receiver. He wants to get to a point where, worst case scenario, he's able to simulate a 30 to 50 pitch inning where your arm is jarred left or right, and there's a lot of range of motion, mobility, and stamina required from that side of his body. Tonight, as you see, he's once again back in the pen, warming up guys, trying to get some more work in. Martin says he doesn't want to set a target date for a return, but said, quote, "It won't be much longer." Buck, he said, "Once I'm back, I'll know I have zero worry that that nerve issue will be a problem once again."
Well, that's awesome. Great news. And certainly Blue Jays need Russell Martin back, as they do with Tulowitzki and Donaldson as well. Slowly but surely they'll get them all back. As we mentioned earlier, Tulowitzki played tonight in Dunedin in the Florida State League and had a couple of hits in 3 at-bats. And he played shortstop.
Russell said he just had no strength in his arm. The arm would just go dead because the nerve was just getting pushed down because of that cyst, and he would just lose all of his feelings and all of his strength in his arm. It's got to be a scary feeling when you're trying to catch Aaron Sanchez and you can't lift your glove.
Well, we saw him a few times and we weren't really sure what the problem is, but there were a few balls up to his left that he couldn't really get to. So finally he had to give in to the problem, and it has been plaguing him all season long.
Said he tried to get a lighter glove because the glove, as the game would go along, would get really heavy, and he had trouble keeping his arm up.
I mean, that tells you how significant the problem was when you're worried about the weight of your glove. 1-2 to Carrera. Fouls it off. Carrera walked and scored in the 4th. Blue Jays have scored 3 runs in the 1st, 3 in the 3rd, and 3 in the 4th. The Braves are being shut out on just 5 hits by Marcus Stroman. Ground ball. Phillips is there. 1 away.
The all-new 2017 CR-V. With revamped cargo space, it's the biggest fan yet. Honda, official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays and proud fan since 1977.
Beautiful ballpark here in Atlanta, and that is the Chop House beyond the seats in right field. But you can see there are many venues. Burger Shack up to the right, the Coors Light Chop House, the Silver Bullet. There are many beautiful areas here in this ballpark for fans to enjoy a nice meal.
I think that's the way of stadiums when we're going to build these things. Fans don't want to just go and sit in their seats. They want to walk around. They want to enjoy different venues. They want to be with their friends.
Bautista turns on it and puts a charge in it into the second deck with foul. Jose's been on base 3 times tonight. He was hit by a pitch in the first inning. Came around to score. Then he doubled and scored in the 3rd inning, and he singled to right in the 4th. He is 12 for his last 30. That's a .400 average. It's this in the air down the right side. Markakis has a long run, and he won't get there.
So he's got that average up over 200s, up to 219 now. 6 home runs, 19 RBIs.
It's more of the interesting sights here at this ballpark, and of course the Chick-fil-A cow and all of the great seasons of pennant-winning ball clubs here in Atlanta. Coca-Cola has been a big-time sponsor, and it's a Atlanta-based company, and lots of different venues for people to enjoy. I was at the Hank Aaron Terrace earlier tonight before the start of this game. There's a lot of great spots. There's a spot in right field. It's called Below the Chop, and it's field level. They have a dining area in the bottom, and they have open air access. You can see there, right there behind the warning track. There's Hank Aaron's image is presented quite frequently around this ballpark, and it should be. 2-2 count on Jose Bautista, trying to get on board for a 4th straight time. That's going to be foul on an off-speed pitch. Boy, what a difference a couple weeks makes, huh? Jose was really having trouble with his timing, and he was getting some pitches to hit, but fouling them back. And he said it himself. He said, "I'm getting my pitch."
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. I'm missing my pitch, and right now he's just not missing his pitch. And when he hits a ball on the right side, they play him in that shift. It's finding a hole. That's where his single went to last time up. For me, his bat looks a lot quicker than it did at the beginning of the season. I don't know if it's his timing or what. In spring training, remember he got off to a great start in spring training? And he was hitting lasers all over the place. But then when he came back from the WBC, it just didn't look the same.
He had a back issue at the final game and didn't play the final game for the Dominican Republic in the WBC. He pops this one up into the outfield. Inciarte comes way in and makes the catch. 2 away. So that'll bring Kendrys Morales to the plate. Morales playing first base has had a big night as well. He has had a 3-hit night. For Morales, it's his 3rd 3-hit game of the season. He's not had a 4-hit game. He's got his average up to 252.
Driving in runs. Got a couple of them tonight.
He's raised his average 16 points with 3 hits. How about a 4-hit game? That's going to get to the wall. Morales is headed for second, and he'll jog into second base with a double, his 7th double of the season.
Remember, he had some hamstring problems, so he missed a couple of games. Now he's getting his timing back. That is a bullet into left field. He singled his first time up, singled his second time up, singled his third time up, and now he's got an extra base hit all the way to the wall, and he just cruises into second base nice and easy with that hamstring problem.
That's his first 4-hit game since last June 27th, and he was playing against the Cardinals. He had a 4-for-4 game. His career high, he's had 1 5-hit game. And here's Dwight Smith Jr. getting his second plate appearance. He hit in the 4th inning after coming into the game as a defensive replacement and walked in the 4th. Took over for Daryl Siciliani, who started in center field and left with an injury after his second at bat in the 3rd inning. Siciliani had an RBI double in the 1st and a 2-run home run in the 2nd, and on the swing when he hit the home run, he injured his left shoulder.
I don't think I've ever seen that before, where a shoulder, you know, he was holding the top of his shoulder like it came out of the socket or something like that on that swing. Hope that he's okay, because John Gibbons puts him in the cleanup spot, and he cleaned up tonight. A couple of big hits for the Blue Jays.
Dwight Smith strikes out. That's his first official big league at bat. That brings the top half of the 6th to an end, and the Blue Jays enjoying a comfortable lead behind Marcus Stroman. Martinez, Pat Tabler, along with Hazel May. The Blue Jays having a breakout night. Marcus Stroman has done it from the mound. He's also done it from home plate. Stroman hit a home run. The Jays have hit 3 home runs on the way to a 9-0 lead.
These kind of games are great for the bullpen. They can just get a blow, if you will. Marcus seems to be on cruise control. He's given up base runners in every inning. He's left a base runner on in every inning. But he's on cruise control. You can set up your bullpen and you can rest your main guys before you head to Baltimore for that big series.
Matt Kemp goes after the first pitch and fouls it up. Oh, nice play by a fan who leaned over the guardrail and made a catch with bare hands.
Looked like he knew what he was doing there, didn't it?
Stroman has really done a good job of driving that fastball down in the zone for a strike. That has set up that slider for the strikeouts. He's done a nice job tonight.
Throwing off the plate here. 0-2. Don't give him anything good to hit. And that's it. Just off the plate.
Kemp has become such a good hitter. You know, I talked to him about his Dodger days. He said, I had a leg kick when I was with the Dodgers because Manny Ramirez was there. Right back to Stroman. He's a good fielder as well. So Kemp's retired. First down to the bottom of the 6th.
Do all those little things that can help you win ball games. Marcus is spinning the gem, so why not field it also? Fields it off to the side, checks inside that glove just to make sure he has it, and then records the out. Tell you what, that ball's going to come shooting off that grass. It's a little wet right now. Marcus handled that easily.
Pete Walker looked like he's just delivered his wishes to the bullpen coach, Dane Johnson. We'll see how the Blue Jays will try to finish out this ball game. Stroman pitching in the 6th inning.
Looks like Ryan Tepera is getting loose.
First man up behind Stroman.
Marcus' pitch count is pretty good. It's at 90. Probably just want to get him through this inning and just give him a blow.
I think you have to manage a game according to the score and where you are, and thinking ahead to a tough 3-game series against the Orioles. Stroman will pitch again on Wednesday in Milwaukee. Another good pitch down and away. He's really had good command of that low and away strike to the right-handed hitters.
To the righties. Down and away. That one was just off the plate. He's varying his windup right now, trying to throw off Tyler Flowers' timing at the plate. There's another different type of windup. Look where all of those pitches are.
You know what? And that's really reflective of what a good athlete Marcus is, that he can throw all of those pitches consistently in the same area while using many different deliveries.
He had the hesitation delivery. He had the quick pitch delivery. You know, as long as the batter's set and the umpire's set, there's the quick pitch again.
Fly ball, Bautista over near the wall, and that ball is off the wall, foul. New situation, you come into a new ballpark, you're just not really that familiar with how much room you have, and there's not much room in foul ground down in that corner. You run out of room very quickly, and you can see Bautista saw that ball bounce off the wall and just tried to brace himself and not collide with the fence.
Ball kept drifting and slicing away from him, and then he just gave up and said, you know what, I'm going to protect my body as I go into that wall.
Little looper into center. Carrera calling for it. Center fielder makes the catch. Flowers is retired. 2 away here in the 6th.
You know, when you pitch down and away, down and away, down and away to right-handers, you make them reach for the ball. And as Tyler Flowers reaches for that ball, he's going to slip coming out of that batter's box. Just a great sequence of pitches down and away to a tough right-hander. Flowers has had a great year.
Off to a good start. Here is Chase Peterson. He's gone 0 for 2 with a strikeout so far.
Been a very handy player for the Braves. He has made a start now at every position in the infield for this team, with his start at first base. He's also had a start in the outfield. Every team needs a player like this, don't they?
It's becoming more and more popular. They're having minor leaguers now make several different starts all around the field just in case, and because you have to carry so many pitchers, it's imperative that you have a versatile player that can play infield and outfield. Another good pitch. Boy, he has had his command tonight, working the corners, working down in the zone.
Yeah, not a lot of pitches up. We're in the middle of the plate. Trying to get his first 1-2-3 inning of the night.
He had a 2-out base hit to Markakis in the first. Had a leadoff double to Flowers in the second, and then retired the next 3. Ground ball. Base hit. Peterson has his first hit of the night. A 2-out hit once again. He just hasn't been able to get that final out.
Well, there's been base runners on every inning, and he's left an out there every inning.
Got a 2-out walk to Phillips in the third. Got the next guy. Leadoff single to Kemp in the fourth. Next 3 guys are retired. Got 2 outs in the fifth, and then gave up back-to-back singles, and now 2 outs in the sixth and a 2-out single. So the only time they had back-to-back base runners reach was in the fifth.
That was after 2 was out, so it made it just a little bit easier. He's going to have to deal with Swanson here. Dansby's raised his average 40 points over his last 8 games. Starting to come around as a hitter.
It's only natural. He's a first-year player. He got some time last year, but he's still a rookie. And now he's the everyday shortstop for the Braves. He shoots this one into right. That gets down in front of Bautista. Peterson stops at second. So that's going to do it. John Gibbons making the call. Back-to-back hits here in the sixth. Stroman has thrown 103 pitches, and he won't be able to get 6 complete innings here, even though he's got a 9-0 lead. Stroman, a historic night in that he connects for a home run, his first big league home run, to become the first Blue Jay pitcher to have 2 extra base hits in his career. Part of a big offensive night. Tepera into the game. Three pitches. He pitches 5 2/3, and he wants to talk to Pete Walker. And probably wondering, you know, it's 9-0. I can get out of the 6th, but they decided to go to Ryan Tepera here. They bring Tepera in with 2 outs and 2 on.
Number 8 hitter, and then the pitcher spot coming after him. So Ryan Tepera for the 18th time will come in and He's been good. 3-1 with a .333 earned run average. Ryan pitched in one of the games here against Atlanta. An inning and 2/3, just gave up a couple of scratch base hits. Look at the strikeout to walk ratio for him. It's 3-1. That's what you want to get when you've got a pitcher coming out of that bullpen who throws like Tepera. A lot of strikeouts and few walks.
Rio Ruiz, the third baseman, he fouled that one off Luke Mailey's hand, and they hit him in a tough spot on that glove hand. Got him on the wrist.
So you want to be a catcher, huh? First pitch, dive bomber away. Looked like it did get him on the wrist.
Most catchers will have half of their hand exposed out of that glove, and some catchers use a leather pad to protect that wrist area, and they'll just have an extra flap to kind of guard against that particular type of foul tip. Oh, 1-2. Tepera has really blossomed this season as an important part of that bullpen for the Blue Jays. He's done a good job of coming into ball games and shutting down the opponents. He has inherited just 2 base runners prior to this. They generally used him to start clean innings. He has retired. They stranded those 2 base runners without problems.
He's commanded his pitches. That's what he's been able to do. He's been able to get ahead with his fastball. His breaking ball's been just a little bit better this year. He's been able to handle left-handers also. That slider, he was trying to get that one underneath the hands of Ruiz. They're just 2 for their last 18 against Ryan, the left-handers.
Lefty's batting 171, righty's 188. That breaking ball does the trick that ends the inning as he strikes out Ruiz. So Tepera comes in to end the 6th. Strowman in line for the win. The Blue Jays in a laughter here in Atlanta. Struck out 6, and he is in line for the win, having thrown 103 pitches. And to top it off, he had his first big league home run, an opposite field home run here in Atlanta.
He's been star of the game tonight for the Blue Jays. His night is over as Marcus packs up his hitting gear.
Yeah, look at that. He makes sure he takes care of his batting helmet first and foremost, the batting gloves,
and
of
the
course.
batting gloves, of course, and get the bat. A new pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. This is Josh Coleman. Sam Freeman threw 3 very good innings, gave up just 3 hits, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. They'll turn it over now to Josh Colminter, 9 games for the veteran. Colminter was the Diamondbacks' 15th round pick back in 2007. He's got a great feel for pitching. He will take over there, and the double switch has brought in another player.
Johan Camargo goes into the 9th spot. Danny Santana also into the game. Santana is at second base, taking over for Brandon Phillips. Chris Coghlan got a big hit in the first inning and drove in 2 runs with a double down in the right field corner. Got everything off and running. Blue Jays had a 3-run first inning and they never looked back. Coghlan getting the start at second base.
Colminter could be tough because he's like an iron mic right over the top with that delivery. He's got a slow curveball and a great changeup. Don't look for anything that's just going to blow by you. He's going to try and get you with some finesse.
Julio Teheran started for Atlanta, and he once again had a tough outing here at home. He gave up all 9 runs, all earned on 8 hits over 3 innings, including 3 home runs. His ERA at home this season in 5 starts over 10.
Does that get in his head? I think it does. You feel like you have to be a perfect pitcher because it's such a good hitter's ballpark. I mean, it has to be when you look at his earned run average away from this ballpark. It's under 1.
Brian Snitker, the manager in his first full season. He took over last May after the Braves got off to a tough start. Coghlan gets another base hit. He lines this one in to left. Leadoff single here in the 7th. Blue Jays got their hitting shoes on. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Marcus Stroman celebrating his first career home run. He goes back-to-back with Luke Maile. That was in the 4th inning. The first time in interleague history an American League pitcher and catcher have gone back-to-back with home runs. Darwin Barney's 0 for 3. And changeup is good foul just at home plate. We had a 35-minute rain delay in the 3rd inning with 2 outs. It was after the Siciliani home run, and Coghlan flied out to center. Barney popped out to short, and Goins was at the plate when the umpires halted play, and we sat for 35 minutes in the rain delay.
With 2 strikes, too. It was 1 and 2.
This is popped up first baseman Peterson in foul ground. 1 away. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jamie, I thought that's something we wouldn't talk about with all the pitching depth the Red Sox had to start the season. David Price has yet to throw a pitch for Boston, and they had so many pitching prospects, and they lost their knuckleballer for the season.
Stephen Wright got injured. They traded away Clay Buchholz right before spring training. Eduardo Rodriguez seems to have found his niche with that team. He's been throwing really well. Chris Sale, of course, is there. Rick Porcello been a little wobbly at the beginning of this season, but he's a Cy Young Award winner.
Ryan Goins batting here with 1 out. 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. Nice play by Camargo, and Ryan Goins is robbed of a base hit. 2 outs. Drive of the game brought to you by Honda, official vehicle of the Blue Jays and proud fan since 1977.
You know, Buck, we can't just go with one drive of the game. We got to go with drives of the game. Daryl Siciliani with his first as a Blue Jay. Luke Maile with his first as a Blue Jay. And then right behind him, Marcus Stroman, first as a Blue Jay, first big league home run, back-to-back home runs. Tonight's drives of the game. That is good to see. Blue Jays have been really swinging the bats in the month of May, hitting tons of home runs.
28 home runs in 17 games in this month. And Luke Maile, he had a big smile on his face after he homered in the fourth. Ryan Tepera is pitching, and he is on deck with 2 outs.
You don't think he's begging for Luke Maile to get on base right here? If he gets on base, he gets to swing. If he doesn't get on base, it's the end of the inning. Tepera pitches the bottom of the inning, and then they pinch hit for him. So you know he is begging for Luke Maile to get on base right here.
Ground ball to third. Camargo has it. Tepera might have to wait another half inning. Maybe he'll get a chance to hit, but he'll come back to pitch the bottom of the 7th.
Daryl Siciliani exits the ball game after hitting his first home run of the season here in the 3rd inning. He is left with left shoulder subluxation, which I'm told is a partial dislocation of that shoulder. He will undergo further testing, Buck, in Baltimore. So Daryl Siciliani leaving with a partial dislocation of that left shoulder.
Very unfortunate situation for Siciliani, as he had a double and a home run, and then he possibly separated his shoulder. But you and I both saw it right away. I mean, that's the reaction you get. We've both done that.
Just can't move it.
No.
He just put it at his side, and he was able to make that way around the bases after the home run. I'll tell you what, we saw the lineup and he was batting cleanup, and we're like, wow, right up here, get into the lineup, hit cleanup, and John Gibbons pulled the right strings. He doubled his first time up and knocked in a run, and then the home run, 2 more RBIs.
This is Johan Camargo, who came into the ball game part of a double switch. Goes after the first pitch. He's batting in the 9th spot. Pitcher now is batting in the 8th spot, where the 3rd baseman was. Foul ball wide of first. Tepera came in with 2 aboard and 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th, and struck out Rio Ruiz. And Ruiz left. The pitcher came in, Josh Comenter, and went into the 8th spot. Tepera has now stranded all 4 inherited base runners he's had this season. He has certainly assumed a much larger role in the Blue Jays bullpen.
And he talks about when the Blue Jays were out on the West Coast in a long game that they had, an extra inning game against the Angels, where he went out there for that 3rd inning. And at the time, it was a career high for him. He said, you know what, I can do this. I don't have to go out there and just overthrow all of my pitches. He paced himself, took his time, hit his spots, did his thing. He got 3 very good innings. Also on that trip, the team then went to St. Louis, and he ended up pitching over 3 innings in another ball game. And I think right there, that's where he got his confidence, saying, you know what, if I just locate my pitches and use my breaking ball, hit my spots, I'm going to have success.
Sharply hit. Coughlin knocks it down, throws to first in time. One away.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Get there fast, leave even faster.
A big bobblehead of the former MVP Dale Murphy, who was a prominent part of this Braves team. He was an MVP twice, playing for the Braves in center field.
Started as a catcher. Remember that?
Yep. A very good catcher. But you know what he had? He had the yips. He couldn't throw back to the pitcher.
I remember when he started as a catcher, the word was, this is the next Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
I mean, every young catcher that came up in that era was the next Johnny Bench. They put him in the outfield. He was really good outfielder.
He was a big guy too.
Big
about
guy.
6'5". He could really run. He played great center field.
MVP.
This is popped up left side of the infield. Barney waits for it, and Inciarte is retired. 2-way. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Yeah, that's a tough way to start your career, as the Athletics have hit a couple of home runs. They've scored 5 runs in the first inning. Boston with 2, Oakland with 3. Danny Santana took over defensively at second base for Brandon Phillips. Phillips finished up the night 1 for 2 with a walk. He singled off Stroman in the 5th. Tepera's done a nice job working that fastball down at the bottom of the zone.
Filling up that strike zone. He's always had a good fastball. He was getting in trouble where he was just overthrowing his pitches. Now he's just concentrated on making pitches.
Fly ball into center. Carrera giving ground, and he's there. Easy inning for Ryan Tepera. 8 in the books here in Atlanta. Then Blue Jays have a 9-0 lead. Tepera, will he hit?
Presented by the rugged Honda Pioneer Off-Road family. Your adventure begins here.
Ryan Tepera getting his first big league at bat. And it's been a big night for the pitcher spot. Stroman homered in the fourth inning. Let's see what Tepera can do here.
Tell you what, it doesn't look foreign to him, does it?
You know what? I have played golf with him, and he can swing a golf club. So let's see what he can do with a bat. Look out in the dugout over there.
Back in the day, that used to scatter guys.
Oh, man. They put those screens up in front of the dugouts, and it's a good thing. Right on the corner. Momentum. The third Braves pitcher to work. Ryan Tepera getting his first big league at bat.
Give him something inside here.
A breaking ball. He strikes out. Illegal pitch.
I don't remember seeing those kind of pitches when I was younger. Right over the top with a curveball.
One out. Top of the eighth. Tepera. Well, put the bat away and get ready for the next half inning. Ezequiel Carrera playing in center field now. He started the game in left field as Siciliani was the starting center fielder. Siciliani left after his at bat in the third with an apparent injury to his left shoulder. Two and two now to Carrera. We're in the eighth inning. Blue Jays have 9 runs on 12 hits. They've stranded 5. The Braves have been shut out on 7 hits. This game started with a lot of tension, a lot of controversy, as everybody anticipated there might be some hangover from the incidents from last night's game. And in fact, Jose Bautista was hit with a pitch in his first at bat. Nothing came after that.
Yeah, it was over after that. Players handled that. I think that might have fired up the Blue Jays just a little bit, because right after that, base hit, single, double, and Blue Jays were off and running.
3-0, and they've never looked back. Changeup off the end of the bat.
Zeke's been on base one time tonight. He came around to score. Just 3 regulars without a hit tonight for the Blue Jays.
Another foul. Tehran, the starter, charged with all 9 earned runs tonight. He went just 3 innings. He had another tough outing. The Yankees lose in Kansas City 5-1. Baltimore lost earlier this afternoon 6-5 in Detroit. Carrera takes ball 4. Blue Jays will go to Baltimore and begin a series tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. That's the pregame show with Jamie and Craig. Aaron Sanchez will start for the Blue Jays against Chris Tillman, who is back and throwing the ball well. Saturday, note the start time. It's a 7 p.m. pregame show. And you'll follow that about a half hour later. Mike Bolsinger against Kevin Gausman. And Sunday, Marco Estrada will start against Wade Miley.
That's where it all started for the Blue Jays this year. We're right back to Baltimore. They opened the season with a couple of games against the Orioles. Lost both of those games.
Bautista hits it off the end of the bat. Fomenter will flip to first for the out. Carrera goes to second. And now Kendrys Morales. Boy, what a night he has had. Morales, the first baseman, has had a 4-hit game, 3 singles and a double. He's driven in 2.
4 for 4. And a chance for a 5-hit night.
He's only had 1 5-hit night in his career. Go ahead and get that second one.
Yeah. August 28th, 2008 versus Oakland. He had 5 base hits
while playing with the Angels. Morales missed some time. He missed 3 games because of a slight hamstring strain. Unfortunately, he did not go on the disabled list. The Blue Jays have had 12 players spend time on a disabled list in over 300 player games missed this season. And it's hard to fathom that if Daryl Siciliani left with a suspected partial separation of his left shoulder, that he's not going to go on the deal. I don't know if you've had a separated shoulder. I've had a separated shoulder, and you're not going to be ready in a couple of days.
You know, I can't play baseball with a slight separated shoulder. You know, the interesting fact about those man games and everything you're talking about, the Blue Jays are in the middle of the pack when it comes to games missed and players on the disabled list. I mean, it's not just the Blue Jays, it's everybody around baseball. It seems like every night when you take a look at the transactions, there's somebody else, a big stars going on the disabled list this year.
Right now, the Angels have 9 players on their disabled list. Robinson Cano just went on the disabled list for the Mariners. Morales taps it back to the pitcher. They have to wait another day for a 5-hit game. They'll go to the bottom of the 8th. It's all Blue Jays. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Greg Zahn in the Samsung broadcast studio.
By TD. The first 15,000 fans in attendance receive a 2-load t-shirt. Join us pregame in the WestJet flight deck for live music and entertainment. Visit BlueJays.com for tickets. To the home half of the 8th, we go Buck Martinez, Pat Tabler.
Thank you very much, Hazel May. And indeed, the Blue Jays will make another pitching change as Joe Smith comes in to start the bottom half of the 8th inning. Ryan Tepera with a good outing and an inning in the 3rd.
21 games now for Joe this season. He will pitch. He's been the 8th inning man for the Blue Jays. They've got a 9-0 lead. So he's going to come in after Ryan Tepera threw scoreless ball. Faced 4 batters, retired all 4 of them. Joe's been great. He's averaging 12.5 strikeouts per 9 innings. He can use that fastball when he needs to. He will face the middle of this lineup and get some work here in a 9-0 ball game.
Nick Markakis, Matt Kemp, and then Tyler Flowers, 3, 4, and 5. Of course, the Braves found out the worst news they could possibly hear, that Freddie Freeman had a fractured wrist, and he will be out of action for 8 to 10 weeks. Hit by a pitch in last night's game from Aaron Luke. Tough blow for Brian Snitker and the Atlanta Braves. They lose a terrific player off to a great start.
He was having an MVP type of season for the Atlanta Braves, leading the National League in home runs, doing everything for this team, and that's unfortunate. He couldn't get out of the way. There was no intent to try and hit him or anything like that. It's just a fastball that Aaron got away from him. He's trying to pitch inside. He just couldn't get his hands out of the way, and you've seen that before. How many times guys, they can't get their hand out of the way, they get hit there and a bone gets fractured? Well, it's too bad.
Markakis 1 for 3, couple of ground outs after a first inning single. Called out on strikes. That breaking ball catches the outside corner. Went away for Smith here in the 8th.
That's been a pitch for him, a money pitch for him to the lefties. He can sink the ball down and away to lefties, or he can try and backdoor him with this slider. And it's got some nice break to it. Good framing by Maley. We saw Joe try to go inside a couple of times with that fastball to lefty. You got to give him different things to think about.
Matt Kemp has singled in 3 trips to the plate tonight. That extends his reaching base streak to 22 straight. Kemp's average now at 339.
He came over here last year at the trade deadline. He hasn't stopped hitting.
Freddie Freeman at 341. Kemp right behind him. Buster Posey of the Giants, the leading hitter at the start of play today, at 378 in the National League. Gene Segura of the Mariners leading the American League at 359. Stalin Castro 351. And Avisail Garcia 348.
Coming into this game, Nick Markakis was at 317, which would have tied Chris Owings for 10th in the National League. That would have given them 3 batters in the top 10 in the National League. The last time that happened here in Atlanta was 2003, where they had 3 batters hitting in the top 10. It's a tough middle of the lineup, and the Blue Jays have found that out over the last 4 days.
Matt Kemp with a 2-2 count. Inside slider. Now it's a full count. He got it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Smith here in the 8th. Looked like he threw a fastball right by Kemp.
What's new? He's been averaging, like we told you, 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. He gets Markakis looking on a breaking ball, and he goes upstairs to get Matt Kemp with that strikeout. He's got some good stuff. His fastball's been a little bit better. His breaking ball's been a little bit better.
At that rate, if Joe Smith had enough innings to qualify in the American League, he'd be in third behind the starters, Danny Salazar and Chris Sale. But obviously, being a reliever, doesn't have enough innings.
You know, we see guys come out of the bullpen. Dylan Betances comes to mind, or Aroldis Chapman, guys who are big strikeout guys who throw hard, and they got great stuff. Joe does it with a lot of smarts, a lot of deception. You know, he takes a look at scouting reports, and he reads bats, and he picks up his strikeouts by being smart.
How about that? Good inning for Joe Smith. 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. Throwing the ball very well. We'll go to the 9th. More baseball on Sportsnet. The Brewers will be in Chicago to take on the Cubs, and it's an interesting pitching matchup with Paulo Espino, a 30-year-old rookie who's had 291 games in the minor leagues, going up against Eddie Butler of the Cubs. So make sure you check it out. It all starts at 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow on Sportsnet.
Be careful, the Cubs are really swinging it. They scored 9 more runs tonight against the Reds. A couple of changes for the Atlanta Braves. Emilio Bonifacio will take up in left field. Matt Kemp is out of the ball game after his last at bat. And taking over on the mound for the Atlanta Braves, another left-hander. This will be Ian Kroll, second time that the Jays have seen him in this 4-game series. 15 games this year for Kroll. He's had his problems. His ERA is inflated. Got him from the Tigers for Cameron Maben.
Dwight Smith Jr. in his first big league game has walked and struck out in his 2 plate appearances. Smith came from the Georgia area. Atlanta was his home. He went to high school in this area. His father had finished up his big league career 2 years playing for the Braves. And his father is here tonight to get to see the youngster's first big league game.
I want to have him see his first big league hit. Stay on that breaking ball. He's seen a lot of them so far tonight. He walked his first time up, saw a lot of breaking balls. Struck out his second time up and saw a lot of breaking balls. Now he gets another lefty. Gets another breaking ball.
Ground ball to short. Swanson throws to first in time. One away. Jason Grilling loosening up for the Blue Jays. Joe Smith had a perfect inning in the 8th. Whereas Grilling was with the Braves last year when the Blue Jays picked him up in a trade. Chris Coggins had a 2-hit game and a 2-run double in the first. He's 2 for 4.
A little bit feel to the game, a little bit different feel to the game, isn't it, in the 9th inning than it was in the 1st inning? A little tension in the 1st inning.
There was a lot of tension in the 1st inning, especially after Carrera flied out to left field to start it, and then Bautista came to the plate, and Teheran missed him with the first pitch, hit him with the second pitch, and everything has calmed down since. The only explosive aspect of the game has been the Blue Jays hitters. They put up 12 runs, or 9 runs on 12 hits and hit 3 home runs. Little looper down the left side, that'll drop into the seats. Luke Maile with his first home run of the season as he and Marcus Stroman went back to back in the 4th inning. Daryl Siciliani drove in 3 runs with an RBI double and a 2-run home run, and then he injured his shoulder and he had to leave the game.
Blue Jays haven't had a laugher like this. I can't remember one this year where the guys were just relaxed and they're having good at bats. It's not pressurized late into the ball game. You can set up your bullpen.
Jose Bautista had another good night. 2 more hits tonight. Bautista's average at 216 as we speak. And he has really come on over his last 12 games. Coughlin takes ball 4. Well, Chris has reached base 3 times tonight. Darwin Barney, he has had an 0 for all night, 0 for 4. Barney takes a strike from Ian Kroll. Kroll was the 4th pitcher to work here tonight. Line drive, Bonifacio, the left fielder, makes the catch. Didn't have to move much. 2 away.
If you're keeping score at home, excuse me, Buck, pencil Bonifacio in the pitcher spot, coming up 3rd in the bottom of the 9th inning. Bonifacio, the former Blue Jay. There, Boney, a lot of speed. We saw him hit yesterday.
Ryan Goins goes after that first pitch. You know, you mentioned you haven't had too many lappers. This is the first time the Blue Jays have scored 9 runs in a game
this season. Really?
Previous high 8. They did 8 times. They scored 8 runs 4 times.
I know, it just seems like every game has been back and forth, nip and tuck, close.
Goins is called out. That ends the top half of the 9th. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Blue Jays trying to wrap things up here in Atlanta.
program empowers girls and young women to succeed on and off the field. Visit jayscare.com/girlsatbat to get more girls in the game. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. And that's always a great initiative, and we want the girls to be involved in the game for sure. And this is Jason Grilly after Joe Smith had a perfect 8 betting. Jason will try to do the same here in the 9th.
Jason really was traded almost a year ago from these Atlanta Braves to the Blue Jays. If you remember that, in exchange for Sean Ratcliffe and cash considerations on May the 31st, 2016. He spent a couple of seasons here in Atlanta. Last season, he had gotten into 21 games before he went over to the Blue Jays. This year, 16 games, a 1-3 record, 730 earned run average. So really back where it all came together for him.
Jason spent 2 seasons in Atlanta. Jace Peterson. Really misses with that first pitch down and away. Peterson 1 for 3. Blue Jays have pitched 2 shutouts so far this season. Trying to do it for a 3rd time. One and 1 to Peterson. Breaking ball. Misses down and in. The Blue Jays shut out the Red Sox at Rogers Center. And they also shut out the Mariners on the 12th of May. It's going to reach the seats out of play. 2-2 now. Liriano was the winning pitcher in the Red Sox game on the 19th as they shut out the Red Sox 3-0. And then Joe Biagini was the winner of a 4-0 game against Seattle. Strike 3 call. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central, here's Ken Reed and Carly Agro. Thank you very much, Carly. That's coming up right after this game, so make sure you stay tuned to check all of that out. Blue Jays have struck out the last 4 Braves to come to the plate. Joe Smith had 3. Now Grilly gets the first one. This ball is hit in the air. Bautista to his right. He makes the catch, and the Braves are down to their final out. Emilio Bonifacio just into the ball game defensively in left field. Will get his first plate appearance.
Yeah, he's the star of the game tonight. Marcus Stroman. 5 2/3 innings for Marcus. Didn't give up a run. Just 1 walk, 6 punch outs, and he hit a home run.
Terrific game for Stroman. Emilio Bonifacio, which he played with the Blue Jays, and he goes after the first pitch, and that's going to do it. Coughlin throws him out. That's the ball game, and the Blue Jays salvage the final game of this 4-game set against Atlanta. They split the 2 games here after being swept at Rogers Center, and they will go to Baltimore to start a series tomorrow night against the Orioles.
There was a lot of tension in the air when this game started for the Blue Jays, but look at all the smiles and the happy faces for the Blue Jays. It ended very quickly in the first inning. The Jays put up 3 runs in the first inning, didn't look back as they throw another shutout and win the last game here in Atlanta. It's just a good feeling right now for the Blue Jays to get a W.
Marcus Stroman improves to 4-2 on this season. Thank you for watching.